All right. Hello again, adventurers, and welcome to another exciting daily vlog. This is Daily Vlog 2025, number 137. And today, I needed to drink, first of all. Better. So, today, I gotta tell you guys, I am getting really pumped for Daggerheart. Like, genuinely, uh, Critical Role and Darrington Press keep releasing all of these teasers and other stuff like that. We've got the character creation happening next Thursday. You have all the launch events and all this other nonsense going on. There are creators that are getting, pre-release stuff. Would have been nice if they given me pre-release stuff, because, I've been there since day one, and I made the cast cry once. I mean, I think that should mean something, Matt. Yeah, they're never going to give me shit. Anyway, yeah, I've gone into the old playtest documents to kind of look at stuff and go, I wonder what things I'm going to make with this character, because I think it will be lots of fun. And I've played around with the demi-planes and stuff. Like, I'm just really, really pumped. I'm even, there are talks. Nothing is official, because again, I haven't seen the book yet. Planning on doing an in-depth review of it as soon as it launches, by the way. But I haven't seen the book yet. But provided it's not just a colossal screw-up, which I sincerely doubt it will be, I'm starting to talk to people about me running a one-shot for it, so I can get my hands on it and get a feel for how the game plays and stuff like that. So, I'm just massively pumped about this game. In a way that I haven't been for a while. Like, Draw Steel, which is MCDM's TTRPG, is still being made, but we keep getting updates. Those of us that backed the Kickstarter are still getting updates about the cool stuff going there. 13th Age 2nd Edition, I believe, is almost ready for publishing. The Welcome to Night Vale TTRPG is going to be here in a few months. All of those, very, very cool. But for whatever reason, I think a lot of it has to do with the fact that Daggerheart contains a lot of things that are just my kind of RPG. Like, the system itself is fantasy generic. And what I mean by that is it doesn't have a default campaign setting, and the abilities and things like that are written in a way that it's very, very easy to flavor them however you want. And not all RPGs are made like that. Like, if we look at, Dungeons and Dragons, or if we look at the Essence 20 games, taking the power, like, if I wanted to run, let's say a Legend of Dragoon campaign. The reason I choose Legend of Dragoon is all of the Dragoons have the ability to go into their Dragoon form. So they have like a morph, a transformation thing. And so Power Rangers also has a morph, a transformation thing. But if I wanted to run a Legend of Dragoon campaign using the Power Rangers TTRPG system, I would have a really hard time, because so much of Power Rangers is intrinsically tied to Power Rangers. And I like that. I'm not saying that that's a bad thing. I've mentioned many times before, Renegade, and specifically the people that work on the Essence 20 system, are phenomenally good at using lore to design mechanics, as opposed to designing mechanics and then coming up with some lore to explain them. But because of that, it means that the games themselves are very, very tied. Like the Transformers TTRPG, I would have a hard time playing anything that's not Transformers because of the alt mode and everything. It's such an essential part of the game, and it's a uniquely Transformers thing. G.I. Joe is probably the one that would be the easiest to reskin into something else. But even then, like, a lot of the stuff in it is really heavily inspired by G.I. Joe. And if you're not playing, like, effectively a G.I. Joe knockoff, it's going to feel weird. Like, I would never be able to run, like, a James Bond TTRPG using G.I. Joe, despite the fact that there's lots of spy stuff in G.I. Joe that you could use to run. It would still feel real weird, especially with all like the vehicles and stuff, and how so many of the origins and influences reference G.I. Joe based stuff. So anyway, so I really do like that aspect of it because it means that I can run my own things in it. And I'm already, like for this one shot, I'm already starting to think up what kind of things would I want to run for it. What would be the best thing would be is if there's, and I'm going to assume they're going to have something, but if there's an intro adventure either in the book or available for download or something like that. I believe there are playtest adventures that already exist. But I've mentioned this before in my in-depth reviews. If you're creating a core book, you have to include an intro adventure. You really, really do. If there isn't one in your book, you need to make it available for download or something like that, because that's the final thing that's going to bring everything together. And you have to write it in a certain way. You can't just, put an adventure in there. It has to be designed to introduce each piece separately. Like Fabula Ultima, their intro adventure is so incredibly well designed to teach you how to use Fabula Ultima. Every single scene, every single aspect of it is designed around the idea of, we are going to teach you how Fabula Ultima works. And Fabula Ultima is not an incredibly complex game. It's crunchier than some, but if you compare it to something like Pathfinder, or even compare it to like D&D 5th edition, it's really not that complex. It's not that crunchy. And yet, if you look at the, what is it, Press Start, I think is what it's called, adventure, like it actually only unlocks certain aspects of your character sheet when you get to the appropriate place to use them. Which from a training perspective is perfect. Two of my kind of fundamental rules of training are begin at the beginning and remember to kiss. Keep it simple, stupid. And that's exactly what Fabula Ultima does. So going back to Daggerheart, I'm hoping that they're going to have a pre-written adventure in there to kind of introduce people. I would almost guarantee there's going to be something in there. And so I might run that, but I've also been kicking around other ideas about stuff that would just be fun to run using Daggerheart. So yeah, that in and of itself is cool. And so other aspects of Daggerheart, I like cards, and I like quote-unquote powers or abilities, whatever you want to call them. I know there's a very, very, very vocal minority of people on the interwebs that think that the power system from 4th edition was gamifying. Guess what? All of those games that it was stealing from, stole from Dungeons & Dragons. Like, 100%, that's where all that stuff came from. And the power system in 4th edition fucking rocked. By far the most fun I have had creating characters and playing characters as 4th edition characters. They're just phenomenally fun to play. And you feel super powerful. Does it mean 4th edition is the best game ever? No. It had its flaws, but the power system was not one of them. And so Daggerheart, not only having powers, but having cards, like I have a thing for cards. I don't know why. I just like power cards. Like I still have, like, I mentioned this to you guys earlier. I keep my Gamma World cards here because I just think they're so cool and so fun. And I like being able to play a tabletop RPG. Like one of these days I'm going to bring in my spell cards from the other room in the basement. But I just genuinely love having all of my abilities on separate cards and things like that. I don't know if it's because that was how 4th edition worked and I just loved being able to do that in 4th edition or what. But it feels so much better to me than to have just a page of text. Like having a card and being able to go, boom, I'm doing that. Just feels better. It feels more powerful. Also, I played a shit ton of cards when I was a kid. Like, we used to go camping multiple times a year over the summer. And a lot of the times we would go with my best friend and his family. And my best friend did not go anywhere without a deck of cards. I don't know how or why this happened, but he never went anywhere without a deck of cards. And so we were always playing cards. And I remember, God, when I was really young, there was this summer camp program thing. Wasn't like a sleepaway camp or something like that. Like there was in the town that we lived in, there was a decent sized park, and the Parks and Rec department would basically run a summer camp in that park where you'd go for like 4 hours or something like that, and the camp counselors would like play games with you, or and one of the things that we did like a lot, and I think the program ran for like 2 or 4 weeks, like it wasn't super long. But one of the things we did a lot was we'd play cards. Like that's where I learned how to play Crazy Eights, and a few other names that I don't actually know what the real name of them are. And I think the name that I know them by is incredibly offensive, so I'm not going to use it. But, yeah. So anyway, I like cards, and it's one of the reasons why I got the physical version in addition to the digital version, was it comes with a whole set of the cards for the Giga game. And I mean, you can't really see it super well, but that's my deck of many things right there. And I still have my old, like, long ago when the earth was new, this is my original deck of many things. It came in that box right there. That's the Madness at Gardmore Abbey. It was the final 4th edition adventure that was published. And the whole plot of it is there's this abbey called Gardmore Abbey. And there was this attack that happened where the abbey itself was attacked. I think it was attacked by a bunch of orcs or something like that. Anyway, somebody inside the abbey had constructed the deck of many things, had found all the different cards and gotten them. And since the abbey was about to fall, he decided that I'm going to pull a card from the deck to try and save us. And the card that he pulled was the Ruin card, which causes real bad stuff to happen. So the abbey itself was destroyed. The adventure, that's all before the adventure. The adventure itself is your adventuring party has to explore Gardmore Abbey, so kind of a traditional dungeon crawl. But your goal is to assemble the deck of many things. And there's a party of NPCs that are competing with you to assemble the deck first. And the really interesting thing about it is once you start collecting cards, each card actually has an effect on its own, and you actually put a marker on the board anytime you have some of the cards in play. And it was a really, really cool adventure. There was a dragon involved. There's a beholder in there. It's a massively cool adventure. So I still have that deck of many things. And then when the 5th edition deck of many things thing came out, I went and I got the special version that gave you this super cool, fancy, expensive looking deck of many things. So I have that. I just like cards, guys. They're real cool. And then things like the artwork for Daggerheart is gorgeous and cool. And I like the Critical Role folks. I thought Candela Obscura was a super cool idea for a tabletop RPG designed by theater kids. Like it's a nifty idea. I think Candela Obscura is such a theater kids game that it has really, really limited appeal. Like it does not surprise me that Candela Obscura did not dethrone Dungeons and Dragons, and it wasn't designed to, and that's perfectly fine. I think Daggerheart has much wider appeal. Again, still not going to replace Dungeons and Dragons. It's not how this works, but like so much of Daggerheart has stuff that I really, really like. You know, things like succeeding at a cost, or just yeah, I'm super excited about it. So yeah, that's all the video is today. Is just me fixating on a game that I can't play for a couple more days. So yeah, what do you guys think? Is anyone here excited for Daggerheart? Do you think it's gonna just be a flash in the pot and then everyone's gonna forget about it? Let me know in the comments down below. Otherwise, again, it's all for me today. I will see you guys next time. All right. Bye-bye.